Hey everybody, Jer from JR's Cars, and in this video I'm going to explain what VCM is on your Honda, and I'm going to show you how to disable it using a muzzler because it can and will affect your car, and disabling it is your best option. So stick around and I'll show you what it is. All right, so I have my 2008 Honda Odyssey, and this is an engine that has VCM. You notice that obviously by the beauty cover over top of the engine there. But what does it stand for? Variable Cylinder Management, VCM. And basically what it does is it's a um, it's a system inside the engine that shuts down the three rear cylinders while you're driving around. So your V6 turns into a three-cylinder basically. As you're driving around, you're at full operating temperature, and you are at either part or light throttle, so that way you're just cruising. Mostly it's, around town if you're just cruising or if it's on the highway, and it's supposed to get you better gas mileage. But what it also does is, if you've seen any videos out there about these 3.5 liter engines, it can cause issues. They have issues with burning oil, and usually it's because of piston ring seals. What happens is when these three cylinders shut down in the back, causes a vacuum, and the vacuum can build up oil on the piston rings, and the piston rings can kind of seize into place, allowing oil and blow by and things like that. So it's for like the 1 to 2 miles, maybe 3 miles to the gallon that you get in savings going into eco mode with VCM, you're better off just turning it off because you're going to end up with a significant amount of money to repair stuff like that, where you can prolong the engine life by disabling the VCM altogether. And what you would typically see is when you're driving around, you see a little light that shows right above there, and it says eco. Not only that, but a couple other things owners have seen is a vibration when it goes in and out of the eco mode or VCM mode. It can make the engine vibrate a little bit. The motor mount in the front is a hydraulic mount that's kind of tied into the VCM system too. Those constantly will fail on you, and you'll end up repairing and having to replace those all the time. So if you're not really worried about saving that like 2 miles to the gallon, 3 miles to the gallon, maybe, um, disabling it is your best option because, for an $80 muzzler versus a $3,000 engine, I'll take the $80 muzzler any day of the week. So how do we disable it? We get a muzzler, and this is what it is. So I got this one specifically from VCM Tuner. This is not sponsored at all. I don't have affiliation with them. I just felt that this was the one that was out there. Everybody uses this, and it's been tried and true, so it's worth the extra money. You could probably go on Amazon and get some like cheap little rinky-dink garbage things that just have little resistors in them, but you're better off spending the extra money and getting this unit here. So basically what it does is you have two end connectors here, this one here and this one here, and what it does is it bridges in between your temperature sensor, which is underneath your engine cover over here, and I'll show you that in a minute. But basically what it does is it fools the engine into thinking that it's a little bit cooler than normal operating temperature, and that keeps the engine computer from thinking that it can go into VCM mode, because like I said, it has to be at full operating temperature in order for the VCM to kick in. So what this does is it goes in between the temperature sender and the wiring harness that goes into it. And there's a potentiometer on this side here, you can see. And basically what it does is when you turn this, it can either trick the engine into thinking it's cooler or hotter. Obviously you want it to be a little bit cooler than what it thinks it is, so it doesn't kick into eco mode. Now, when you get this from VCM tuners, they already have it configured to run at about 40 ohms here, which would put you right around the area where it needs to be. And they also give you a full set of instructions in here. It kind of goes over the installation and the configuration and everything. but I'll show you how to get to it and how to plug it in. So first thing you want to do is you want to unscrew those two little screws and pull the beauty cover up. There's a couple clips in the back there, you just have to pull it up. Now you can see that that is what we're looking to get at right there. That's the temperature sender. What you're going to do is pop that clip off to get the wire harness out of it, and then you're going to put your VCM muzzler in series with it. And it's very simple to do. You can see it's just got a little push clip on it. So you put your hand in there, you push on the clip, and you pull it up. And like I said before, the connector will go into this side here. And when you put it together, you're going to hear the click to make sure it's secured in place. And now this end will go on the actual sender itself. And that's all she wrote. That's as simple it is to install it. So now what we have to do is I'm going to put the beauty cover back on there, and I'm going to try to see if I can get this just attached to something here, because it is free floating, and I put one of the binding straps here around it just so it keeps it in place there, and I'll probably do the same thing over here just to keep it in place there, just so it's not flopping around like that. But we'll see what it looks like. I'll put something here, and then I'll put the cover on and just make sure it's not hitting the cover over here. All right, so it's all back together now. I put the cover on. You can see this is kind of where I hit it here. So it's in there. It's pretty secured. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to bounce around, and it's not touching anything else. So I think it should be in a pretty good position. Now what we have to do is just take it for a ride and see if that eco light goes away. All right, so I've got a couple miles into the drive here, and as I'm driving around, the temperature gauge looks like it's just a little bit below what it normally is. But you can see here that it's not even triggering off the eco light, and I'm kind of being light on the throttle. So I think we're good to go with keeping the setting that it is. All right, so as you can see there, it's running roughly about 179 degrees at full operating temperature, so it's really not too far off of what regular normal operating temperature is, but it's just low enough to where it's not going to trigger off that economy mode with the VCM. All right, so as you can see, it wasn't going into eco mode anymore, and that's the whole reason for doing something like this, is just to keep it from going into that eco mode like that. So as it would go in eco mode, it would like shudder a little bit when it would go in and out of eco mode. And it had this weird like downshift feeling when it was when I was hitting the brake while it was in eco mode. It was like using the engine as a brake to do that. It's not doing that anymore either. So the engine and the transmission actually feel pretty nice right now, and it's something that I've never really experienced with this car, that I've had it for about 3.5 years now. So I'll call that a win, and we'll see how things go. So I am going to be taking a pretty long trip. Gotta, bring the kids to college. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up like I normally do, and I'm going to check to see what the mile per gallon is at this point, because I know I would probably average about like 23, maybe 24 if I was really good or easy on the gas. So what I'll do is I'll do a short video as a follow-up, just to give you an idea of what the miles per gallon difference is now that I have that VCM muzzler in there. So do me a favor, if this helped you out, smash that like button and drop your comments down below. Share with your friends too, because I'd like to hear what you think about this this VCM that they have on these Hondas and Acuras, and what your experience is with them too. I hope everybody's staying safe, and keep tuned to the channel because there is a lot more coming from the JR's Cars fleet.